Good evening. This is the Duke of Fremont Street in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the United States of America. Today is Thursday, December 1st, 2022. It's hard to believe the year is almost over. We're in our last month of the year. I don't know where the time went, but before beginning my video today, as always, I'd like to thank you for stopping by. And please allow me to drink a toast to you. Salute. Magnificent. Well, the precious metals are up again today. That's not a bad sign for all of you stackers out there. And time will tell whether we have this momentum stays with us. Gold finally closed above the almighty $1,800 benchmark at 1803 bid by 1804 ask, up a whopping $34.30 per troy ounce, or 1.94%. So it was a very nice move for gold today. Silver also closed higher at $22.75 bid by $22.85 ask, up 56 cents or 2.55%. The momentum is definitely positive for the metals, and you may ask, why now of all times are we finally moving north? This is a very complicated question, easy question, very complicated answers. There are many factors in play. One, if you live on the same planet I do, you know that things are messed up. We're in a world that has wars, rumors of wars, famine, plague, civil unrest, and on and on and on. It's never ending. And I don't see any happy endings on the horizon. So this uncertainty is definitely a positive for the commodities, especially the precious metals. The stock market is, in my opinion, Fantasy Island. It's full of gas, and one of these days the bubble's gonna pop. It's just a question of when, not if. And this, incidentally, is my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you my observations based on 50 plus years of dealing with the markets. Real estate right now, as you're well aware, the interest rates are high. This is definitely put a wrench in things, and it's killing the market right now for the sales, especially the commercial. I wouldn't touch commercial real estate right now with a 10-foot pole. With this new world order we're moving into, I don't see commercial real estate pulling out anytime soon. Need I mention cryptos? With this FTX collapse, I believe that's indicative of what's going to happen in many cases here with the cryptocurrencies. I've never, ever been an advocate of the cryptos. I personally don't think they're fool's gold. I think fool's gold has more value. So that's just my personal opinion. You won't catch me messing with the cryptos whatsoever. How about that inflation? Anybody that lives in the United States knows that everything is going up. I'm sure Europe, you have the same situation, and elsewhere in the world. I don't care whether it's food or housing or energy cost. It's frightening, actually, and there's no end in sight. So the cost of everything is up. With this quantitative easing that we've done here in the States, we've created infinitely more currency, but we haven't produced any more goods. So it stands to reason that with more currency in play, with the less and less to buy, it's going to drive the prices up. So, in my opinion, tangible investments are the path to wealth acquisition and wealth preservation. In particular, I love silver. Silver, in my opinion, is at a bargain basement price. I remember back in 1980 when it got up around the $50 level, and that was in $1980. So today we're barely above 20 in $2022. So none of that really makes sense to me. Yesterday I talked about the 0.999 silver and explained some of the different varieties that you could invest in. And today I'd like to move over to something that's my personal favorite, which is the constitutional money, the 90% silver, the American silver coinage that all the older folks, such as myself, remember. And I want to show you a few examples of that. I would think that the best example would be, let's start with the little dimes. The examples I brought out today are BU examples, bullion uncirculated. So with a bullion uncirculated, let me show you if I may. These are the Mercury dimes. The Mercury dime, what a beautiful design. See if you can see this. I don't know if the camera's going to show it very well or not. But this little Mercury dime is so funny. When I was a child back in the 1950s, my mother would send me to the market with one of these dimes to buy, and I've said this before in video, to buy a loaf of bread or a dozen eggs or any commodity such as that. And I would come home and bring the change. From that little thin dime, you could buy the gallon of milk or the dozen eggs or the loaf of bread. Well, fast forward today, and you can do the same thing. This little dime contains the actual silver weight is if you have 10 dimes, that's $1. The actual silver weight is 0.715 ounces. So a little under 3/4 of an ounce of pure silver in 10 of these Mercury dimes. I can't keep my hands off these. These are beautiful. Once again, the Mercury dimes, the Roosevelt dimes also had the same silver content. From the dimes, let's move over to something a little more substantial. These are the silver quarters. These are also BU. These are Washington quarters. I don't even know what year this is. Looks like 61. This is a roll of 1961 uncirculated American silver quarters. So a roll of dimes is $5 face. A roll of quarters is $10 face. So the $10 face, since there is 0.715 ounces of actual silver weight per dollar, there's 7.15 ounces per $10 face. And I love the constitutional money because it's good for trading, for barter, for small purchases. Barter is especially good, and I've already used these items for barter. Well, stepping up from the quarters, we go to the halves. Like I said, today I brought out a lot of BU, bullion uncirculated examples. These are 1961 Franklin half dollars, the Benjamin Franklin halves. Beautiful. And once again, this is an uncirculated roll. You won't find it. Obviously, they haven't been spent or they would be circulated. But whether they're uncirculated or not, the price is not that much higher for the uncirculated types. And they're absolutely exquisite examples of our historic coinage. So from the half dollars, let's step up to the king of the constitutional money, and that's the American silver dollar. This happens to be the Morgan dollar. This is a 1900. Let me see if I can show you the example of that. Isn't that a beautiful coin? never been circulated. The beautiful thing about the silver dollars is they actually contain more silver. This is still an uncirculated example, but it's toned. Silver has a tendency to oxidize or tone. So if you've ever used silverware or a silver service, you're constantly polishing it to get it back to this original beautiful state, the white silver. Anyway, the silver dollar contains 0.77344 ounces actual silver weight. And it's probably my favorite of all coins is the American silver dollar, in particular the Morgan dollar. Let me show that to you one more time. I just love those. And we have an attachment to them because they are living history. You can imagine examples such as these being in our Old West period or so forth. So it's funny because when I was a child, I never saw a silver dollar. I grew up in a neighborhood, we were poor, everybody in the neighborhood was poor, and a nickel was a lot of money. You could buy quite a bit with a nickel. A silver dollar, I knew they existed, but we didn't run in those groups of people that had that sort of thing. So it's kind of neat as I get older that I'm able to acquire some of these items and hold on to them. So don't overlook the constitutional money. I think the constitutional money is going to play a very important role in our society, especially if we move into this new medieval period I call the New Dark Ages era, where people will no longer have the trust in the fiat currencies. But time will tell on that one. Oh, while we're at it on the constitutional, this is constitutional money. This is the old quarters, dimes, and halves. And I mean, there's barbers in there, there's walkers, for example, here's the old barber. That old $50 is 1907. It's a long time ago. And I sell the culls, which are the slick ones, or the ones that are, the details are worn off. I sell those for, like this one, this walker doesn't even have a date. I sell those for a little above melt. So they're absolutely, in my opinion, the cheapest form of silver that you can buy today. You know, you've got the 0.999, you've got the 90% of all of those. I look at these quarters, dimes, and halves, and they're very popular. This little bowl of quarters, dimes, and halves, I could sell those in a matter of one phone call. All I have to do, because people realize that they still contain the silver, and they're not BU, but they are still silver. So that is something you may want to consider. Anyway, I'm celebrating tonight the fact that we are moving up. It's somewhat of a dilemma because the silver was scarce to begin with, and the premiums were very, very high. And now that silver is going higher, I'm sure that the availability is even going to be harder to acquire. So it's going to be challenging. I've been in this game for 50 plus years, and I've never seen it more challenging than it is right now. If you're looking to come to my village of Las Vegas, don't hesitate to give me a call at 702-561-9431 and make an appointment with me to see me in person, and we'll either buy, sell, or trade while you're here at a safe and secure location. I would love to meet you, the viewer, in person, and I also, incidentally, love your feedback, love your suggestions, love your comments, and I'm going to do my best to respond to every one of them. Well, as always, I'm buying and sometimes selling. I thank you once again for stopping by, to your wealth and to your health and to your happiness. Salute. Once again, I'd like to thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you soon. In the meantime, so long.